Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Your buddy John Megacycle here. Another little mini AI tournament here with Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. We've just gotten through very recently the singles tournament, which was every single sub-faction versus every single sub-faction in a best-of-3 matchup to determine who was going to be really the ruler of Earth, or the owner of Earth, or whatever. We had both sub-factions of Global Defense Initiative, Brotherhood of Nod, and of course the Skrin. Have at it, and then we did a best of match with everything. It was a very singles AI tournament, so I had no participation with any of it. It was just the AI versus the AI. And after that was done, I got a really good idea from a YouTube member, John of Byzantium, came and said, you know, it'd be really cool if you did a doubles tournament. It'd be shorter, there'd be less matches because there's less contenders. But I was like, you know what? Why not? It'd be only, what, like a couple of episodes? A few hours to get that all hammered out? Why not? So, new skirmish. The rules have changed slightly. So we have both sub-factions of Global Defense Initiative, Steel Talon and Zocom, on one side, versus Black Hand of Marked of Cain on the other. They're on their own teams, Team 1, Team 2. They're both hard, balanced AI. And just a couple of concerns or points that I got from the last tournament is, why not set the personalities to random? Random really means it'll choose any of the 5 personalities. So balanced, having them all on the same personality kind of gave us a better guarantee that we weren't pulling any punches. Because one of the things that could very easily happen is, let's say both GDIs went Rusher type, if I put him as random, and then Nod went like Turtle and Gorilla or something. Or even if it was Rusher and Gorilla. The thing is, Global Defense Initiative would have, ideally, in this situation, a better opportunity to seize up some of the map. Which would kind of make it unfair, because, you know, I want to make it as even Steven as possible. So, we all choose the same AI personality, that's all there is to it. The rules, 10,000 monies, standard, no crates, no shenanigans. The AI doesn't actively look for crates anyway, so I don't want them to accidentally move an infantry unit and bam, now they have an MCV for free, or whatever. Aside from that, we're going to be doing this the normal way. I'm going to join, I'm going to surrender, and that's how we're going to get into a proper spectate, quote-unquote, mode. Another idea was we could do a match, and then I could just watch a replay of it after, which isn't a bad idea. But unfortunately for me, time is like a huge luxury, so anyway, let's get started. Global Defense Initiative versus the Brotherhood of Nod. I chose Border Town Beatdown. This gives them plenty of room to spread out. Each starting location has a sizable pile of green Tiberium, and there's a massive pile of blue Tiberium in the center. There are Tiberium spikes at every single spawn point, which acts as like an oil derrick if you're familiar with Command & Conquer Generals. Those had oil derricks. So I'm kind of using that as a reference point, but that's really all there is to it. I'm just going to change the color here. So we got the blues versus the reds, more or less. I really don't have anything to say. Let's just get started. And of course, I get Zocom. Brocom, Zocom. Alright, boop. Okay, now because this is a much larger map, what we're going to have is a lot more... Yeah, get that out of my face. These matches are going to take a lot longer. I don't think we're going to have 2 or 3 units just get in and scrap real quick. This guy going straight for Refinery. Okay, yes, the music is terrible. We lost the battle. No one cares. This is the only person, the only player that went for Refinery straight up. So that's interesting. Oh, actually, the GDI member as well. I already forgot the positions I put them in, but once we start playing out, it's going to be a little more obvious. This is very clearly the Zocom player. Their engineers do not have the handgun upgrade nor the better armor. Also, their refineries and harvesters are slightly different. Their harvesters come with the rocket pack. This is Steel Talon. Their harvesters have a spare infantry garrisonable slot. Are you going for a second refinery? A war factory immediately. That's impressive. Brotherhood of Nod here in the upper right and in the lower right. Okay, right away Scorpion tanks, that's interesting. Didn't really see that before when we tried out Nod prior. 2 refineries, I'm probably going to see a sale of a refinery real quick here. Interesting stuff. Okay, a little bit of maneuverability. There's some capturable structures. There are some turrets. There's a bridge in between the north and the south side. So there are some choke points, some cutoff points, that sort of a thing. Seeing some engineers flying around trying to get the Tiberium spikes. Pretty good call. It's an early investment. Steel Talon already with 2 Talons. That's pretty... 2 Titans. 3 Scorpion tanks. Alright, we're starting to see... In the north, we're starting to see a really good accumulation of troops. I don't see anything here for Zocom at all from a military perspective. So that's going to be an interesting piece of conversation. Damaged unit already. Stupid-ass engineer going through the Tiberium. Plenty of economic capabilities here out of both teams. Not doing a bit of a better job digging in, I feel. Zocom also getting in a little bit, but not too much. I should really figure out which of these not factions are what. Oh, the second we see a flame unit, I'll know for sure. But I just selected really quickly. This is Black Hand. Pretty sure. Now, one of my favorite rush tactics as Black Hand is flame tanks. Okay, sale of a refinery, of course, of course. Not a ton of advancing movement. AI taking a bit of its time just trying to... Yep, sale of a refinery, of course. Just trying to get a few things going on. No one rushing for the blue stuff. Oh, okay. Well, now the music decided to join us. Awesome. Not a lot of military action going on right now, so right now we're just panning around, just checking, see what's going on. 2 refineries, 3 harvesters there. 2 refineries, 2 harvesters, 3 refineries. I'm sure one of them is going to get sold. Yep, makes sense. So, still a 2-3 there. 2 refineries, 3 harves. I count 2 refineries here. Combat? No. Okay, we've already got our first push. This might be a dead ringer sweep for Nod. Global Defense Initiative moving in, trying to take some of the civilian structures, trying to give themselves a little bit of a fortification point. That's not a bad call. That's not a bad call. Based on the trajectory here, this looks like this is going to go right for either the Tiberium spike or right at the underbelly of the base. Now, I've played this map a couple times with AI. The AI is pretty well scripted in sneaking behind your base. So that's going to be an interesting tactic if that gets pulled out. EMP center control captured. Yeah, they're just... Tiberium has been so neutered in this game when it comes to the volatility. In older Command & Conquer games, Tiberium was truly poison, and you would not want to run infantry through it blindly. But it looks like, yeah, going right for that Tiberium spike. Going the shortest distance, just straight line. Plenty of flame... Oh, not flame troops. Oh, the Confessor Cabals. Buh, I can talk. Yeah, heavy gunners. It's going to take a while to bust up this Tiberium spike. Tiberium spikes have quite a bit of hit points. I'm not seeing any military response out of Zocom whatsoever. Okay, it looks like they're making their own move. Those forces really need to double back and support because these Nod forces are going to be able to sweep right in through the bottom. Got a lot of good anti-infantry here, not a lot of anti-structure. Let's take a quick look at the other factions. Steel Talons moving in with some Titans. Yeah, Black Hand and marked. Yeah, there you go. There's the signature Black Hand unit. Yep, called it right. Called it right. Black Hands sacrifice their stealth technology, but do get much better flame units. So that's really... Okay. Okay. Marked of Cain reacting to Global Defense Initiative's push to the center. But this is still the hot topic right here. They just... I don't know I don't know what else is going to be done here. This Predator tank is going to be able to feed off and destroy up maybe 1 or 2 of these buggies. But there's enough static here. The Militant Rocket Squad's just going to ping them to death. Looks like Nod with fairly overwhelming force here. I think that Predator tank's trying to run over these infantry, but it just can't. Flame weaponry is ridiculously good. Zocom's bread and butter really are the commando units, the grenadiers, and the aircraft. And yeah, slingshot. Perfect. Yes, a slingshot unit would be great. If you want to start running over infantry, okay. That slingshot unit just did way more than anything that's been done so far in defense. Okay, that's hard to watch. Steel Talon pushing in pretty darn hard up here. Another Titan down. Oof. Not really the effective attack they were looking for. They needed to bring some anti-infantry to the mix. Blackhand are just going to absolutely shred the Zocom base without much reprisal, I feel. And reinforcements are arriving as well. Grenadiers are going to do Dingus against Flame Troops. Yep, just like that, no problem. Yeah, this is already it for Zocom. Zocom clearly teching up. A tech center is 4,000 monies. That's an impressive... That's a really impressive investment that early in the game, to be sure. Steel Talon are going to be all by themselves if they don't provide some reinforcements for their Zocom brethren. I'm not seeing a ton of potential. A lot of harvesting operations, which is good to see. Steel Talons is going to need that. I know it's Steel Talon, but I keep saying Steel Talons like it's plural. Way more reinforcements coming from Blackhand. Steel Talon actually doing a pretty good job putting the herd on marked. Of course, now we've got a beam cannon. Beam cannons are delightful pieces of machinery. Another artillery-like unit for Nod. It's not an artillery unit per se, but it's artillery-like. These turrets doing a fair job against some infantry, but unfortunately for Zocom, yeah, these missile harvesters do fine anti-vehicle damage, but it's not like a true tank or anything. Okay, a Firehawk, a Zocom Orca. They could do a lot of work right now if they got off their asses and did something about stuff. Firehawk strike up here. Yeah, Firehawks can be incredibly deadly. They've got a lot of hit points. No countermeasures, though, which is damn unfortunate. Oh, a Mantis coming in. I forgot about that. Blackhand has a very strong anti-air unit. The Mantis. So that's going to probably shut down anything Zocom's doing here, even though they're not even doing anything. Hot points all over the map. Let's just take a quick look. The center is mostly open for business still. Looks like Global Defense Initiative was able to get the farthest in the middle. Marked of Cain, able to rebuild, was able to rebuff that Titan attack. Blackhand has... their entire base has been untouched. Same thing with Steel Talon. Yeah, once that MCV goes... yeah, this is going to be game over. Zocom desperately looking for some repair money. You can tell because they're selling structures. They're just trying to make ends meet. Yeah, this isn't going to fly. They're not even using their Air Force. Ugh. That is frustrating to see. Steel Talon still a lot of economic potential here. Plenty of refinery space. The middle still seeing quite a bit of combat. What would really change this around economically for any amount of the game would be a Marv. A Marv, you stick that Marv in the middle, you start sucking up blue Tiberium like it's going out of style. That's instant cash. Steel Talon with an ion cannon uplink. That's an interesting move. Haven't seen an ion cannon get used in a while. Super weapons don't usually last that long, to be completely fair. With Zocom about to go, this is going to be an interesting matchup. The only real option Steel Talon has would be to rush for that blue tib immediately, sonic emitter weaponry online, bunker down, get as much eco as possible. That or even moving to the middle to get somewhere this green gold would be great. Not seeing any defensive structures. Oh, one watchtower. This is a prime base for a stealthy Nod player to come in and stealth tank it to death. Yeah, with all the flame weaponry, that's Interesting. Little graphical glitch there. A nuclear weapon for marked. The Black Hand, I believe, are the ones that are allowed to have fake weapons. Yeah, this is a real Temple of Nod. I believe it's Black Hand. Can build a fake Temple of Nod. Oh my gosh, he made it out alive? How even? Anyway, you can tell that it's fake. You can tell the temple's fake because it won't have this electronic countermeasure. Master computer countermeasure button. That's it for Zocom. Zocom's been cleared. So now it's just Steel Talon versus Marked and Black Hand. So how's this going to pan out? Let's take a look as a bit of an assessment. A Juggernaut. Oh, that's right. Steel Talon get an upgraded Juggernaut known as the Behemoth. Behemoth, beautiful artillery unit. First of all, brought into the game Command & Conquer 2 Firewall. That's not the right name. Oh, I can't remember the name, but it was an add-on to Command & Conquer 2. Firestorm, that's it. GDI finally got a reasonable artillery unit. GDI had an artillery unit in the first Command & Conquer known as the MRLS. I think, Medium Range Launch System or something. I don't remember the acronym. Now, what I'm afraid of what we're going to see right now is a ton of useless engineer rush. The Grenadiers aren't a bad take, but you need something else to aggro. 2 EMP strikes. That is really painful. So the enemy has an EMP control each, and it really looks like Steel Talon is going to lose their EMP control down here. That's a massive hit. Losing... You could lose power to your defenses if you're going for a specific target, or if you have enough of them, you can knock out the entire grid. This is promising. A reclamation hub, but nothing's being built. Not seeing any vehicles, no more defenses. Honestly, one sonic emitter defense, or whatever the heck it's called, would do some real damage to some of these attacking light tier units. Now the problem is, Nod can easily take the entire southern half of the map. This does not bode well for Steel Talon at all. And these 2 units are dealing just enough damage to reset its little animation cycle. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, moving on. Using behemoths to try to snipe terrorists or fanatics. That's funny. I don't know if you've noticed, but behemoths need about a second and a half. A second and a half to deploy. Yeah, that's a ton of damage against a really heavily armored vehicle. Looks like every other Tiberium Spike and Capturable has been stolen. The defensive guns that were here are gone. There's really nothing else. This is interesting. This definitely is going to spill the death for Steel Talon. They're going to get their super weapon off first, though. And they're going to have to coordinated assault that nonsense. It's going to have to count. Lots of Firehawks on the field. Oh, we just saw the Stratofighter upgrade. I bet he's going to pop up over here. Nope. Wherever they're going to warp, they warp instantly. Oh, man. Are these... Yep. These are Black Hand flame tanks. These things are devastating. You slap a clone army on top of that? Yeah, it's devastating. And this is definitely going to be the end. A commando right here. Black Hand can also, I believe it's Black Hand, can summon 2 commandos. Flame Tank's got to close this gap. They move in, get right at the ankles, get close. They'll do insufferable amounts of damage. But just take a quick gander here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them hit points just fall apart. Oops. Yep. Boof. Structures are incredibly weak to flame damage. It's absolutely ridiculous. 1 minute, 5 seconds left on that ion cannon. I highly doubt Steel Talon is going to get the opportunity to use it. Yep, this is going to be it for Steel Talon. I see a parade of units coming in as well. The AI at least trying to attack from multiple vectors, which is interesting. There are some times when the AI is just so stupid, it's just embarrassing. And there's other times where the AI is like, holy crap, you snuck behind my base. You got all up into my pylon stash. Interesting. That kind of a thing. That's something that really adds. Or whatever. It's just weird. Weird how intelligent the AI can be, and then weird how stupid the AI truly acts at other times. This is going to be it. I didn't notice any secondary bases, no expansions. Round 1 goes to the Brotherhood of Nod. Yeah, you can definitely see the entire breakdown right from these timelines. Let's take them one step at a time, right? Let's go for resources first of all. Resources, everyone pretty much linear. Everyone pretty close together. There wasn't someone that went absolutely ape. So that, no arguments there. Structures, everyone pretty even. Again, really no complaint there. Zocom going way higher mid-late game, though. Or actually, this is Steel Talon. Steel Talon, the Ion Cannon, I think was a really bad choice. You need the Tech Center in order to build the Ion Cannon. I think that was also a bad choice. The Reclamation Hub that didn't even get used, also a bad choice. You're kind of going down 2 or 3 tiers of the tech tree at the same time. I say pick a lane and stick with it, because it just didn't pan out. And then units, this is probably the biggest gripe. You can clearly see... let's see here, where is... So, Zocom had a lot of units, but like nothing military-wise. It was a lot of engineers, grenadiers, stuff like that. It just really didn't pan out. Yeah, unfortunate so. Another round. Yeah, we're just gonna reverse it. Oh, come on now. 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Oh, whoops. I'm not playing in the game, silly. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's how we have it. Okay. No, wait. Steel Talons was on top. There we go. I think we got it now. Okay, same map, just reversing the positions, just to be fair about it. First one goes to the Brotherhood of Nod. I'm Traveler 59. That's amazing. And now it's less amazing. I sure did. Okay, power plant. You're going refinery again. Interesting. You are also going refinery. And you're also going refinery. Okay, so only one player went for a power plant barracks build. Everything firing up, everything coming online. Engineer rushing, or, oops, thought my camera was over here. Setting up engineers isn't a bad call. The phrase engineer rush really means you build an engineer, you send it to the enemy base, you hope you can make it stick. The engineer rush doesn't really work with AI. Like, the AI knows where your stuff is all the time. They'll just snipe an engineer out of nowhere. What you need to do is you need to accompany it with an APC or something to give it a little bit of harumph. Otherwise, it just gets gunned down. But in this map, having a lot of engineers would make a lot of sense. There's a lot of capturables. Just recap that one more time. Every position has a Tiberium spike. More than one in some locations. There's also a few in the center. There's these defensive cannons, these defensive towers ready for capture. And there's also the EMP control center. Again, lots of blue stuff in the middle. I guess that's really the recap when it comes to capturables. So, spinning off 3 or 4 engineers right out the gate isn't that bad of a deal. Seeing a lot of economic growth here. No war factory right away. No war factory here either. No war factory here either. Okay. And no, okay. This is interesting. Just barracks. In our last game, if you recall, we had some war factories pretty early. The power plant makes sense. Non-power plants don't produce as much juice as GDI power plants. Non-power plants are, however, cheaper. Okay, Steel Talon War Factory. Excuse me. My word. Oh no, wait, this is Zocom. Zocom War Factory. That's the Steel Talon War Factory. Okay. Getting a little confused. Just keep bouncing in between all the factions real quick. It's hard to keep track. Oh, then of course we got our Black Hand down here and our Marked of Cain up top. So what's another way to tell the nod factions? Because I've already given off a little bit of the idea of the GDI factions. You see this Harvester is cloaked. It's kind of transparent-y, translucent. This one, not at all cloaked. Solid color. Black Hand does not have any stealth technology whatsoever. You can easily tell a Steel Talon player because the Harvester, you can tell there's a little extra lump up top. But if we come over here to the Zocom Harvesters, just have to find one on the quick, that top caboose is replaced with a missile rack. Realistically, the missile racks are ideal to shrug off any air harassment. Okay, our first Zocom Orca. Finally, looks like Zocom's actually going to be using their stupid Air Force. Is it the side of the map that's the deal? What's the issue here? A lot of economic buildup here for Marked. No military units? I'm panning around wildly trying to find a Scorpion tank. Black Hand. Some Confessor Cabals. Oh, okay, a bit of a push here. Infantry, okay. Nothing really going on. Our first attack warning. An engineer running through Tiberium. And of course, probably the same thing here. Yep, some infantry getting a little feisty with Tiberium. Not attacking across the map. Interesting. Yeah, this stuff should be just killing these guys, like, immediately. Okay, not incurring the first losses of the game because they're stupid. Will he make it? Oh, he saw the edge and he almost made it out alive. This is something that drives me the most nuts about this iteration of Command & Conquer. Is just how blatant infantry will just careen through Tiberium. Anyway, Steel Talon building up a nice force. Good to see some Wolverines here. Wolverines are the anti-infantry mechanoid. Holy crap, some Zone Raiders out of Zocom. Okay. We might have a game over here. Zocom Orcas have specialty sonic weapons, sonic grenades. They're not just regular grenades that the other Global Defense Initiative factions get. A bit more of a punch to it. So good to see Zocom actually using their freaking Air Force. Seen some attack buggies here. Thought I saw some more stuff on the way. Some Scorpion tanks, some light infantry. Let's see, 2 refineries, 2 harvesters. Yeah, 3 harvesters. Alright, Black Hand really not doing as much of a good economic job as I would like to see. Steel Talon didn't even capture a lot of their capturables. This is even unowned. You can tell who owns it. See, the color right here is white. There, now it's yellow or orange. So that's where you can see the factions. Oh no. Hard hat with a handgun, gonna get gipped immediately. Yeah. Combat infantry have a little bit more armor, but combat infantry, or combat engineers, are really only designed to fight other engineers, because they'll actually win. Okay, I don't know if you're noticing this, but Steel Talon pushing to the west. Marked of Cain moving just right in here at the top. Good assortment of stuff, but 2 or 3 Wolverines are gonna shred this up pretty good if they have at least 1 Titan to boot. Yeah, Steel Talon really bringing in some gear. They lost a Harvester, which was unnecessary. Doing a pretty good job shredding these Nod units. It frees up some space. More Nod reinforcements coming from the west. Zocom still being absolute jerk butts. Using these... Oh, going back for more? What's the situation? Wasting so much time. Okay. What orcas have are effectively grenades and not rockets, so they're kind of like bombers. Like, they drop a payload, and if it's not there, it's not there. Steel Talon giving a bit of a reprisal here. An unmatched reprisal at that. Anti-vehicle mechanoids versus anti-vehicle infantry doesn't really pan out. Steel Talon is going to get banged up pretty hard in this little encounter. Yep, that's Steel Talon. That Titan's toast. What a messy matchup. Zone Raiders, finally seeing them into action. Zone Raiders are pretty darn good against structures, but they don't do dink against other infantry. Just one flame unit is just... That was such a waste of armaments and cash. Ugh. Such really bad matchups is what we're seeing right now between Global Defense Initiative and Nod. This is actually a little more frustrating than enjoyable if you want my true opinion. GDI should lose with all this. Not doing effectively a better job mix and matching their troops. And being more effective about it. Steel Talon still fighting tooth and nail here. Yep, let the Wolverines come in, shred the infantry, and then you got the Talons as a backer. For sure. Works out well. Let's take a look at some of these bases here. Far more zone troopers. Add like 5 rifle infantry in there. Like 5 squads of rifle infantry, and you've got a much more cohesive combat unit. It drives me nuts when I see the AI build like 19 of the same thing and then lose, and it's like... Dude, it's the power triangle, right? It's the rock, paper, scissors of RTS games. This stuff has been around since, I don't, Dune 2? It had the power triangle. Like, use missile launchers against structures. Don't use missile launchers against infantry. Anti-vehicle stuff is good against vehicles. Like, I mean, that whole dynamic of one thing's better than one thing is better than another thing, that's been around for quite some time. Okay, Steel Talon gonna take a lot of unnecessary damage here. Hopefully these Grenadiers will clear them out. And they do, easy peasy. Each side, each faction, each race, each whatever, has a unique unit that can just clear out structures with one shot. For Nod, it's flame weaponry. For Global Defense Initiative, it's the Grenadiers we just saw. And for Skrin, it's the flying razor blades. The buzzsaws, or whatever the crap they're called. A little bit of back and forth here. Lots of just loose combat engineers. Just capture this, man. Call it a day. Oh, Venoms. Hey, okay. Anti-infantry aircraft. And then, of course, we have a Pitbull, anti-vehicle, anti-aircraft, but incredibly weak. Yeah, it's... Yeah, he took down one, but he's going to go down himself. Venoms are pretty pro vehicles, but you got to send them in a pack. Zocom, bombardment here or there. I'd love to see some hammerheads. I don't think I usually see the AI with hammerheads, though. Middle pretty much stack wiped there. This is another thing that drives me crazy. These Global Defense Initiative units are moving to respond to a threat. That threat is a Venom, which none of these units have the capability of dealing with. A singular slingshot would ruin everything. That it would just destroy that venom. Oh, vertigo bombers. Interesting. These grenadiers have to just pop this structure. But nope. Blackhand really not pushing super hard, it looks like. This actually kind of feels like GDI might have the upper crust. Aside from whatever the hell's going on there. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's all I have to say anymore. I don't have better words. How's Mark doing? Mark of Cain is the only one that's like really coming with a push with any amount of aircraft. Zocom with the ion cannon, that's more what I would expect than Steel Talon. You guys are gonna literally lose behemoths to a singular venom. And when it blows you up, it's going to be like a triple black belt jiu-jitsu master of ass kick. And then you're gonna wonder what the hell happened. GDI really coming in here, Zocom pushing incredibly hard with aircraft. Are you gonna do something, buddy? Are you gonna do something, buddy? Just... Nope. I wonder if that aircraft was there just for vision. Just for visual. A fourth airport for Zocom. Okay. That's not really surprising. Do we have any aircraft upgrades? We do. Okay. Ceramic armor. Definitely a must. Definitely a must. Especially with hammerheads. Which are my favorite way to play. Alright, that's what I'm saying. Slingshot. Slingshot. There you go. There you are. A slingshot just has to idly pass by. Those venoms will get shredded in a heartbeat. Not doing a lot of damage. These bombers are actually more ideal for structures. Something that's not going to move will take 100% of the damage every single time. If something moves even slightly out of the way, it'll take significantly less damage from the bomber types. This is sad. Steel Talon just losing thousands of dollars worth of gear. Hero units cannot be run over. And you can see how much damage resistance this commando has. It's ridiculous. Took, what, 5 or 6 shells? Oh, man. Quick recap from the greater side of the map. We have 2 more nukes. 2 more special weapons have come online. Let's make sure they're legitimate. Legitimate? Legitimate. Okay, I always wanted to go... I knew one of them was going to be absolutely, because only the Black Hand have the double temple ability. The AI will build the second temple. Second temple's cheap. I'm really hoping I could show it to you. Show you what a fake temple is. Okay, I'm gonna guess the Reckoner... Not Reckoner, Redeemer. I'm gonna guess the Redeemer's gonna come out of there. Is anyone else really teching up anymore? Of course, the Temple of Nod required the tech center, so that's kind of a moot point at this juncture. There's a lot of aircraft. There's a lot of aircraft. They could shred a Temple of Nod with all that. Get a good push in. They have the Stratofighter upgrade for the Firehawks. They have everything. Zocom could really start busting up some serious Nod base. I don't think they're hitting. They're not even hitting. This is funny. Okay. Yep, dead engineer immediately. That commando cannot hit that slingshot. She looks like she's holding that thing like Han Solo. the Black Blaster pistol or whatever. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but like the way Han Solo would hold the weapon. Okay, we've got Purifiers coming in. Purifiers are beefed up avatars. Avatars and Purifiers are kind of like the not equivalent to the Mammoth tank. I guess that's how I'd say that. Another ion cannon has come online. This is a lot of heavy artillery. This is a lot of heavy stuff. The zone troopers might not be a bad idea if the Purifiers weren't here. Any real anti-vehicle stuff is going to be a real help, but I don't think there's nothing here. You got more behemoths, which are adorable, but they're not going to really cut the mustard. Yep. Holy crap. Zocom in with a commando. Wow. Zocom actually getting off its duff and actually doing some work. If it can take out that temple, that's going to give them a significant advantage. Because it's going to be 2 super weapons against 1, but of course, look at how many avatars and purifiers are coming through. This really smells like the end for Steel Talon. Unless they've got something magical up their sleeve I don't know about. I don't get this. The AI attacks, and then retreats, and then attacks, and then retreats. It's rare they ever, like, commit. And that's it. That's it for... Actually, because they took out Black Hand, all those purifiers just went poof. I was expecting to see, like, a pile of purifier. But that cut out a lot of what was going after the Steel Talon. So that was actually maybe the very best way Zocom could actually help their ally. Was by going directly after Black Hand. So much aircraft. Hey, hammerheads, look at that. With all the fixins and all the trimmings. Nice. Okay, this is a very clean matchup for Zocom to win. And these zone troopers, zone raiders, are going to devastate structures. Yep. Not quite as fast as flame units, mind you. But there's enough of a range and enough of a buffer that really makes it work. Now, oh, ion cannon firing. Look at that. Oh, that's going to be devastating. Yep. Banged up everything real good. Not where I would have chosen as a strike target, but still not bad. Let's go back to Steel Talon's base, see if this situation has changed in their favor, and it really looks like it won't. Oh, looks like a nuke was sold. Sold or lost. Hard to tell. Oh, that was so close. If Mark of Cain just keep pushing, I really think they might have something here. And actually, they are selling out pretty hard. Ooh, chemical troopers, Tiberium troopers, yeah. That's gonna shred up these zone raiders, no problem. Oof. Yeah, bad loss for them. But now we're really starting to see either a ton of Air Force move up or something. So now it's almost a race. But actually, now that I'm saying that, that's it. Yep, okay. Global Defense Initiative is victorious. They really pulled it out. That was crazy. Tons of units just poof. So we'll get to the recap in just a second here, but you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, everyone pretty much lockstep in resources, very small amounts of variance. Nod kind of falling a little bit behind, not terrible though. What we'd never want to see is like a straight plateau where it just flatlines and there's no more like growth. That would be an issue. For structures, I don't really have a lot to say here. Everyone was pretty grouped up together. I'm just going to click on Zocom because that blue is really hard to see. But here's where this really kicks in. You can see exactly where there was a massive surge of units from Black Hand. A massive rush, and then death to Tiberium. Just this whole thing just fell clean off the map. That's exactly what happened, and that's absolutely what messed. Yeah, I guess there's really no way to fix that. AI is just going to be dumb as toast regardless all the time anyway. So that's really about it. Now, for the final, we're going to mix this up a bit. We're going to change this over to give us a little bit of variety, because if the right side is giving a combat advantage over the left side, there's really only one way I could think of to even that out, and it's a proper mix. So, what does this smell like? We have Steel Talon, we have Marked of Cain in the north, we have Zocom, we have Black Hand in the south. So, each of these guys are not going to have a friendly partner they can rely on. It's no longer an east versus west, it's now whatever happens. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how they're going to manage the bridges. I don't think the AI is usually smart enough to blow up bridges in that case. Or ever, or whatever. But let's just see what happens. Oh, and I got pink too. The curse of the pink. Okay, refinery start. Refinery start. Refinery start. Refinery start really seems to be the fan favorite here. Yes, what terrible, terrible game-ending music. How awful. Interesting to see the refinery first strat. Not usually my strat. Not usually how I play, but it does get you a little bit of money a little quicker. Effectively, you can build the power plant and then the refinery. The problem with building the refinery first is you go underpowered. So it adds another, what, 2 seconds to a power plant? So you lose like 2 seconds here or there. It's not the worst deal. Oh, a vehicle factory. Immediately. Vehicles right out the gate. Wow, attack bikes. That is classic nod. Classic nod. Okay, a crane to assist with building. That's interesting. We haven't seen a crane at all yet. Oh, another crane. And, okay. Going a little more pro-economics. You slap together 5 or 6 units, you go on the assault. That's a pretty quick attack. Quicker than we've seen. No barracks? No vehicle factory? A barracks? Engineers? Okay, Zocom's at least getting a little more economic. Maybe capturing a couple things. Right now, Nod is looking pretty freaking strong. And that's dangerous. Steel Talon, Zocom, I guess relying more on economics. Trying to get some more money in the bank before everything goes crazy. See, Nod has at least some infantry here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything for Steel Talon. So we have a little bit of stuff here. The AI will usually group their attack around group their attack or their whatever around the MCV before they give a push. More military. Wow. Okay. Zocom Airfield. War Factory. Interesting. A tech center? A tech center before a war factory? Are you serious? Are you building the ion cannon? Like, that's turtle strats. Like, you better be building some defense or something to make that tech center count. Or that's stupid. That's stupid. Derpy engineer doing derpy things. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. SOCOM already here with an orca. That's funny. That's really funny. It's a good strat. I mean, it works. Yeah, get in as much free damage as you possibly can with an Air Force, for sure. First push over the bridge, none of this stuff is capped. The EMP control center isn't capped. These are all Confessor Cabals, which will just shred infantry. Well, that minigunner, that rifle squad is going to get some damage in. Just free damage before it dies. The second that thing pops. Let's take a quick look across the battlefield. Okay, we're starting to see finally a bit of a push with this gear. They'll be able to shut down GDI's Air Force really quickly unless GDI really concentrates on surgical strikes. Move in with a bunch of firepower, take out 2 or 3 units, back off. Really? They blew up the bunker enough that it got evacuated, but they're not attacking the riflemen. What? I get that they went for the engineer, but... Alright. Not really given the push. Okay. At least SOCOM was smart enough to capture up the gun turrets. If the gun turrets deal enough damage, or the defensive fortifications, whatever they're called, they'll actually blow up the bridge. Which will make that easier for SOCOM to defend themselves. Steel Talon looking pretty crap. Still building more engineers for no reason. A Reclamator hub. There literally better be a Marv coming out of that. And, like, all the trimmings. Like, fill it full of engineers to keep it healthy. And accompany some anti-infantry junk with it. Or that's going to be just ultra problematic. And there went the bridge. Nada's going to have to go around if they want to keep up the offensive. Now, there's little huts. There's little repair huts. Bridge gatehouse. If you throw an engineer in there... Oh, they already did it. It rebuilds the bridge. So, just because you blew up a bridge doesn't mean it's game over. And there you go. There's our Marv for GDI. Holy Zone Raiders. What even? Good assortment of troops. I'd love to see just 1 or 2 defensive structures, honestly. Alright, if that Marv... I really hope that Marv is going to go into the Blue Tiberium. That would be just the smartest move ever. Even if the Marv doesn't fire a single bullet from now on, run it through some Tiberium, make a whole lot of money, double down on defenses and attack and anything. Infrastructure, build more power plants, build anything you want. Because whatever the Marv is going to do, that's free money. But I think that's our first super unit. Our first, if you're playing Supreme Commander, that's our first experimental. On the move, maybe? SOCOM's still doubling down with this Air Force shenaniganry. Which, again, isn't a bad call. It paid off in the second round, for sure. It did not pay off in the first round whatsoever, because they didn't do anything with it. Okay, looks like some fanatics retreating. Okay, Marv doing exactly like I said. It'll run over some Tiberium, you'll get some cash out of it. I don't believe you'll get the full value of the Tiberium. You'll get a very much smaller amount. But it's instantly processed, instantly generated. Again with the Commando. We've seen some really good work here with Commando units. Yeah, just run right into the MCV. No? Where are you going and what are you doing? Okay, power plant I guess makes sense. The Commando will absolutely shred aircraft if it'll stay too long. And that's probably going to be it for Steel Talon. Oh, it seems like this was the initial troop that went all the way around. Of course, its rally point is where the harvesters are going? Question mark? So that's Tiberium. Zone Raiders, I believe, actually have a bit of an immunity to Tiberium. If not immune, they get some resistances either via upgrades or standard. That's kind of the Zocom MO. Is they're supposed to be red level, red zone tacticians. A red zone is an area that is so infested with Tiberium, it's just fate. Do not go. Do not pass. Do not collect $200. Bad stuff. Zocom getting absolutely hammered here. Neat that they have an ion cannon, which I just noticed. Neat that they have some air force, but there's a fair amount of anti-air here. I think Nod takes this one. How would we turn this around? Take that Marv. It lives in the blue zone. It lives in the blue Tiberium. Rank up all the money. Build a crane. Build 3 more barracks. Crank out units. Start from scratch, kind of a thing. Zocom doing a pretty good job shredding some Nod territory up here, of course, until chemical Tiberium troopers show up. Without those Tiberium troopers, I think there'd be a much different story to tell. But yeah, Zocom's just losing their crap left and right. Yeah, this is going to be an annoying matchup. Commandos can't be run over. Oh. Maybe they can be. Oh, maybe against Marvs. I really did not think you could run over Commandos. Maybe I'm still thinking like Command & Conquer General 0 Hour, Colonel Burton, Black Lotus, Jarman Kell kind of a thing. This is not looking good for whatever remains of the Global Defense Initiative. Steel Talon trying to give a bit of a push Air Force style. There's a lot of base here to be had, though. So I really don't think the Black Hand are going to have too much of a problem rebuffing. Man, this is kind of close. Aside from the ion cannon, there's a lot of vehicles around. There's a lot of aircraft for Zocom. Steel Talon have a fair amount of aircraft as well. This might actually change. I'm very serious. There's still a crane. There's still a reclamator hub. Steel Talon can come back with money, and they literally have a mobile piggy bank right there they're not using. That is incredibly frustrating. 3 minutes, 11 seconds until the ion cannon for Zocom's online. That could destroy one of these guys. Or at least cripple him up a bunch. Yeah, I don't think it'll destroy him. You can't destroy a MCV with a super weapon. You just can't. You can get darn close. But you need a little bit extra to give it that shove. That friendly push. They literally Stratofighter bomber to move, wow, 40 meters? That was dumb. 30 meters? I don't know. Okay, Steel Talon really doubling down on this. I'm really amazed they're not building an MCV. Absolutely, for sure. Black Hand doing nothing anymore. Their attack was thwarted. Now they're just sitting here. Honestly, these purifiers, send them immediately against Steel Talon, and you'll get them. But yeah, Steel Talon just getting tons of free damage here. Harvesters that are docked like this are incredibly vulnerable. Think of like a turtle that you knock on its back, right? It can't just immediately pop back over. It's a really bad situation for a turtle. Are you serious right now? Like there was any surprise. Zocom willing to throw away literal thousands. Doing this 2v2 style is a little more complicated. A couple more things to keep track of. Steel Talon still really pushing here. Oh, Steel Talon actually going across the pond and capturing. It feels really like Nod has stagnated at this point. I've been kind of emphasizing more on GDI, but there's just, like, nothing on Nod's turf going on. They're attacking with more of these fanatics. Cool. They're gonna go around. Cool. I think GDI actually has this one. If you asked me 5 minutes ago, I would have been like, no, this is a clean Nod win. They push in hard enough. They double down and commit to the assault. It's all over. But no, this is interesting. The Marv really not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Every one of the super units has its own little thing. And Marv's really is the, what is it, Mobile Assault Reclamation Vehicle or something? I don't know. And it's just not doing its job. Anyway, Ion Cannon. Where'd that get fired? Okay. Oh my god. All those purifiers. All that money. That was clutch. Black Hand literally just lost their calling card. They don't have anything else. Concentrate on economic destruction. Shut them down, and then take your time. Pull them apart piece by piece. If he told me, hey, in the third match, Steel Talon is going to abandon all its vehicle prowess and be just a non-stop Orca shop, I would be like, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. But that's quite literally what's happening here. Literally, one Mantis unit for Black Hand would have shut all this down. For Marked of Cain, 2 SAM sites? 2 of the SAM node things would have game overed all this air nonsense. But GDI was able to pull out an Ion Cannon strike. Literally stripped out, what, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, 6 purifiers. Purifiers are 1,500 a pop, I think. They're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. Like, when you're building purifiers, you're committing to an assault. Those aren't... You don't use those as garrison troops. Yep, this is over. I'm definitely calling it GDI win. Pulled it out in the last round. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I thought Nod had him dead to rights. Another commando. Interesting with the commando work. This commando is garbage against vehicles. The Nod commando is better against vehicles. Oh my gosh, we're seeing some engineer captures. Yeah, these higher end units leave something called husks. And the husks can be recaptured using an engineer. And you just get the unit. It's like at a quarter health or half health or something, but you just get the unit back. So that is devastating on an assault type if you bring a bunch of engineers with you. This commando's going just ham. I don't know why they leave the MCV for, like, middle to last. Never makes any sense to me. This is going to be the end of Marked. Yep, that's it. How's Black Hand doing? Not great. Steel Talon retreating with the purifiers? Maybe reconnecting with another squad to build a different attack vector? I don't know. This is such an awkward and weird battle because I really felt Nod had this to win. Good unit diversification, building very quickly for a rush stack. That was really good to see. Just straight up ready to go, classic Nod. Nod units are less durable than GDI units, but they're cheaper to facilitate a much earlier strike in the game. But we didn't really see that too much, which is unfortunate. We did see a quick ascent of units. Like, we'll double check the unit stack in the charts later in the match, or when this is over. So we'll see a quick ramp up. But it just doesn't, it just didn't hold if it didn't strike, and they just didn't attack quickly enough with it. Yeah, now you're gonna have 2 squads of aircraft. I'm telling you, build a barracks, which you've got. Build an airport, or not an airport, a radar. It's way too late now, but literally two SAM site things would shut all this down in a hurry. Because all this right now is just free damage. These orcas aren't getting hit on the way there or back. It's very incredibly one-sided. The Stratofighter upgrade, just they pop right out of nowhere. Yep, just piece by piece. What an interesting upset, for sure. Okay. Another 2 minutes before another ion cannon strike. Oh, and the husks will eventually just disappear. So I don't know if you noticed this pop right here, but the husks will eventually just flutter off into the sunset. Yeah, this is devastating. God, what's left? Okay, a power plant. Wow. After our performance in the first match, straight up, if you said GDI to win, double down on it, I'd be like, shut up. I'm not a Las Vegas odds man. I should have taken that bet. I should have totally taken that bet. Alright. Units. Again, really heavy ramp up. At this point, they could have won. Just push into your opponent. Because take a look. There's Zocom. There's Steel Talon. There's Black Hand. Good ramp up. Even marked. Good stuff, but it just didn't pan out at all. It really didn't. Anyway, that's going to be it for the first round of the Command & Conquer 3 AI Tournament Doubles Edition. Global Defense Initiative is going to move on to the final round versus the Skrin, and let's see if Reaper and Traveler have anything to say about it. So, thanks for joining me. My name is John Megacycle, and I hope to catch you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.